the room, and he said, "Boss, I didn't even hear you walk in." And I said, "That's because I don't beep."
Now, how do you do that so quickly? How do you go back and forth between your face, Mark Twain, and Ben? How do you guys switch so quickly?
Well, that's because we're two very individual people. There's a time when a man knew his own personality quite well on the riverboat, and he had to sit there on the bridge watching the river go by and just wonder to himself, is this what I am in life? And then just out of nowhere, he might just say to himself, no, sir, that's not me. What's me is just the ability to start your video, and then it's just you.
Now, is that like a default screen?
No, I go into Zoom and I change my avatar. And so then when I start Zoom without video, I start with my video off.
Okay.
It starts with whatever my avatar is.
How do you do that?
On the webpage, on the Zoom webpage.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
You go to zoom.us. And
so then anytime you turn off
if I could
turn off the camera, the avatar shows up.
Yep. So if I stop video, suddenly Mr. Twain shows back up.
All right.
This here's a CBS special.
That's really funny.
Yep. So that's how we got Mr. Argyle last time. So now will Mr. Black and Asian be joining us this week?
I don't know. I haven't.
I don't think I've heard from today. So.
I mean, if not, no biggie. I mean, he's missing out on a killer episode, brah. Let's see if he saw the post. And he did miss the Clubber Lang chat. Jenny, you missed a lot of Clubber Lang chat. That was really...
Yeah, I meant to actually go back and listen to it so I could be in on the joke, but I didn't get a chance to.
Really good. A friend of mine that listens to the pod all the time, his name is James Thomas. He used to live in Virginia Beach and moved to Cincinnati, and he's lived here for like 4 years, and I haven't seen him since he's moved here because he's got a family, and I have a family, and he lives on the other side of town, and it's just hard to do sometimes. But at least he kind of understands. He was like, dude, there's 20 minutes left, and you guys already rated the episode. What's happening here? And I was like, oh, you'll find out.
Oh, so you didn't make that Patreon only?
No, I just put it up there because I mean it was too much to edit out. And it was just too fun.
Yeah,
you know, because it was like 20 minutes of us just talking about like Ferris Bueller and Clubber Lang. Like,
well, since you're recording this, I will go ahead and recommend if anybody wants to skip to that part. That's a good episode on its own.
Yes, the Ferris Bueller part is 20 minutes of fun. We're just talking about Ferris Bueller and Mr. T and Clubber Lang being next door neighbors.
Well, just putting Clubber Lang in the John Hughes universe, I think, was well worth it.
I agree. Sorry, I'm typing about Kickstarter. Hang on.
Oh, so I noticed that you were on a local podcast that I haven't listened to yet, so I'll be checking.
Popped. Yes, Popped. I was on Popped last night promoting the.
Popped.
Yeah, I was on Popped last night. Me and Kevin were promoting our Metal Shark Bro Kickstarter that we're going to try to work out.
Oh, and this week you're going to be on the program too, right? Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, but that was many moons ago that we recorded that. But yeah,
I think it comes out this week.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Well, you heard the Tribe Called Quest one already because you were making jokes at me about it.
Yeah, because I'm on the Patreon. I give Justin the whole $1.
Nice. Well, this is Patreon stuff too. Our friend Justin does a podcast called Deprogrammed where like they pick an artist. Jenny, you've been on the show several times. I've been on the show several times. Ben, I don't think you have been.
Yes, I have.
Ooh, what episode did you do?
I did Madonna, and I think that was last week or the week before that got put up.
Did anybody like 3 weeks?
Now, did anybody do Dress You Up With My Love? I've always loved that Madonna song. That's a sleeper one for me.
No.
Bummer. I like that one.
But we did hit a lot of the pop hits.
Now, did you split Madonna? I think you could have split Madonna up into 2 episodes.
No, we only did 1 episode, but we limited it to 20th century Madonna.
So you stopped at like Ray of Light, right?
Okay.
Right. And so then we will do, later on, we will possibly do a 21st, because there's literally enough songs that you could evenly split at the millennium.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, Deprogrammed is a show where Hulkster picks an artist. Our friend Justin Wilson picks an artist, and like people get together and try to make like the quintessential like playlist for that artist if someone's never heard them before. So it's really fun. I've been accused in the past, not by anyone in particular, but mainly by myself, of feeling like I don't take it too seriously, because I don't really take much seriously, to much to the chagrin of most people that know and love me. But I took Tribe Called Quest very, very seriously. Like Jenny was commenting that she could hear me sharpening my pencil before we were starting and all that stuff. I was into it.
That was a great episode. Like, I think some of the episodes that you've been on are some of my favorites. Like Justin asked, what is the favorite episode that you haven't been on? And immediately I thought of Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys episode was super fun.
That was a lot of fun. Like hearing you just go on to the lyrics, Beastie Boys and Tribe Called Quest, like you knew them like that. And it was amazing.
I have reserved, much like Ben is with Star Trek trivia, I have reserved entirely too much space in my brain for like Tribe Called Quest and Beastie Boys lyrics. Not all of them, because I don't know all the first record or like a couple other ones, but like I pretty much know all of Midnight Marauders and Low End Theory. Like I could just go, and it's kind of sad.
You finally got to use it on a podcast.
I did. High school finally paid off. So, but whatevs.
This is one of those things where I think about the wasted space and wasted brain power, and it's just like there's probably a doctorate or two in there.
Oh yeah, totally.
I easily gotten a PhD by now if I had not focused on the wrong thing.
The Great American Novel.
Easily. Jenny was strobing. I was like, are you losing power? He's under attack.
No, I was getting like this J.J. Abrams lens flare action. So I thought maybe it was just dirty and I need to like...
You look a little smoky.
Maybe that's what she's going for.
Because I'm smoking in here, bruh.
All right, so what is this week's episode? What's the name of it?
Return to Grace.
Return of the Grace, episode 283.
Holy
That's insane.
shnikes.
Episode 283. So I was listening to a podcast where they said if you mention the number of episodes before you start, people go, wow, that's some serious shit. So yeah, episode 283 of Dork Trek. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
I thought you were saying it was the number 283rd episode of Deep Space Nine. And I didn't even know they made that many.
That would be double the Deep Space Nine. JD, do you want to tell maybe a first-time listener what we do here on Dork Trek?
So we watch and review, I'll put that in quotes, every episode of Star Trek. We're on the, was it 4th season of DS9 now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you go back, you can listen to, we review all of TNG, all the TNG movies, the first 3 seasons of Deep Space Nine. Eventually, our children are probably going to have to do this podcast because we're all going to be dead if they just keep making more Star Trek stuff, which would be cool.
We will have to pass the torch at some point.
My kids are kind of into Trek, I guess. I don't know.
It could be Dork Trek The Next Generation.
Oh, whoa, Ben. I was thinking what that could be when we go back and review all the episodes again. That could be Dork Trek The Next Generation.
Okay.
Or when we review ourselves reviewing the episodes.
That would be like us watching videos of ourselves having sex and critiquing it. Be like, you know what? You really could work on your form here, Ben.
Well, I mean, doesn't any... Okay.
I mean, I do that. I thought that was just a standard thing.
Standard modus operandi.
Yeah.
All right. So what's this episode called? Return to Grace.
Yep.
All right.
There've been a few. I used to watch. What was her name? Grace.
Grace Jones.
No, Rhett
Grace
Butler
Slick
had a show.
Will and Grace.
No. There's a lot of Grace shows, which, is just triggering as fuck because my mother's name is Grace, and it's just...
I didn't know your mother's name was Grace. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, she's Gracie because she was named after Gracie Allen.
Okay, now is your mother still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Okay. See, again, we've been doing this podcast now. We're coming up on, what, 7 years?
7 years.
And I did not know that your mother was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right. Is this a
3 days off work? Just waiting to happen.
All right.
And we changed the subject.
I know, right? Jenny did it. I was doing it without pulling the collar. Ooh.
No, so I got my Agent Cooper pajamas this week.
I know you look very nice.
Nice. Did you get your coffee there?
I don't.
You very much look like Felix Unger, and I dig it. Like you got the Felix Unger jammies on. I like the Felix Unger jammies too, but I feel in the summertime they get too hot.
Well, I keep my apartment at 68 degrees.
Ooh, we're playing Star Trek at your apartment then, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Plus, he actually has a table.
I'll bring a beanie. Jenny, you don't have a table?
No, I don't have a table.
What kind of gyp joint, sawdust joint are you living in?
A filthy one.
Oh, nice. All right. Cool. Can't argue with that.
I've gone out and I bought all new furniture just for you guys to come over.
Yeah, it was fun. I got a message on Twitter. I guess somebody was listening to back episodes, and they were like, "Oh my God, Ben and Jenny broke up." I said, "Yeah, I don't know, I guess." And he was like, "Oh man, it's the end of an era." He was very distraught about the end of your relationship, which I thought was cute.
Oh,
but yeah, I thought it was kind. It was definitely silly because it was just out of the blue. Like I got a tweet on like a Thursday, like last Thursday about it. Like, oh my God. I was like, this is so odd. But yeah.
I don't think, did we ever officially say anything on
I don't think so. You just kind of gradually moved to your apartment.
I think you guys said something. Did you guys say something about, because Jenny was talking about going on like the dating apps and stuff. So, I mean.
Yeah, but I think it was just implied.
Yeah, it wasn't actually.
Because we could have just had like a weird open relationship where, she goes on dating apps and I sit in the corner and watch and cry. Like
Worf, Troy, and Riker at the end of TNG in that final season.
Yeah.
See, I think what people don't understand is that it wasn't just those three. Barkley was still involved with that. And on the holodeck, he was hooking up with all three.
Oh, of course.
So
he was running the camera. I bet they still cuckolding him, though, on the holodeck. Shut up, Barkley. I'm going to bang these ladies and you got to watch. Okay.
Just sitting in the corner beating off crying.
Tears make the best lube.
That's what I hear.
It's so sad. So yeah, so this is kind of a one shot, one kill kind of there's no B story here.
No, I think Zial is kind of the B story.
Yeah, but the B story is
he didn't kill.
And I love how Gul Dukat feels like he deserves like a Father of the Year medal because he didn't murder his child on sight. Like
for Cardassian, that's kind of true.
Over dinner, he's just like, I'm kind of glad I didn't kill her.
You know what? It would have been a real bummer if I would have murdered her for merely existing. It would have been a bummer if I would have murdered my daughter. That was completely my fault because I had sex with some lady out of wedlock and got caught. It's really nice of me.
Oh, hey, just something completely back out of place to the beginning of this, but I just realized, looking at the stats for this episode, this is the 400th hour of Star Trek released.
Dang!
Of all.
Wow.
So it's the 84th episode produced of DS9. It's the 84th released of DS9. And it's the 400th in all Star Trek released.
400 hours of Trek up to this point?
Because, well, I think that's taking in consideration the original series movies to this point, and DS9.
Wow.
Okay.
So you've had 400 things of Star Trek released at this point. So this is the 400th.
This is the 400th release.
Yes, of something Star Trek.
Okay, that makes more sense because 400 hours seemed odd to me, but like, okay, the 400.
So it'd be even more than 400 hours because the movies were 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then you've got the 20-minute episodes of the animated series.
Which, do yourself a favor. Watch the animated series.
Absolutely.
It's so good.
We are, after we do original series, we're going in right into animated series, right?
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Okay.
And
When are we watching original series? Is that like after Voyager?
That would be after Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's gonna.
We
take
started
forever to
with
get there.
we started with TNG. We just went forward from TNG, and then we're going to go back. Although, if you wanted, no, you would still need to watch TOS after Enterprise, because that way, when you come out of Enterprise, continuity-wise, you want to go right into Discovery and then into in the original series.
Okay.
Oh my God!
I'm looking forward to Discovery.
Yeah.
coming
And well, the
back.
Patreons have already had a taste of
They
Discovery.
have. And I tell Stephanie every Sunday, I'm like, couple months.
Just counting down.
Mhm.
I'm going to actually have to restart the subscription.
I know. I can't wait. I used to love Sundays at 8:30 when I could watch Disco. I thought it was a really well-written show. I enjoyed it. And Jean-Luc Picard's going to be on it, I guess.
Ooh,
That's
I
just
didn't know that.
just a verbal agreement, nothing confirmed.
But is he going to be Jean-Luc Picard, or is he just going to be like cream of some young guy or something? Like,
We don't know.
all right.
You do know that Star Trek loves to reuse actors.
They do. They do.
Sure.
And
I
it's
I don't think they could get away with recycling him though, and just trying to play it off.
Hello, I am a random alien guy.
No, that would
Perhaps
be the
not
thing.
Patrick Stewart.
Do you remember when Fleetwood Mac was when they guest starred on TNG?
No.
Because they did.
Really?
It was on the Loaxana Troy episode. They were the fish people that beamed up and were in hibernation. And then
I remember us
last
talking
episode-
about this now. Yeah.
And then when she went to beam out, she's like, "Oh, well, they've got bombs," and then just leaves. And it's like,
And it's-
what?
And it's Fleetwood. I'll have to go back and look at that because I hate me some Fleetwood Mac. Whatever that episode I rated, I got to lower it because I don't like them at all.
You're gonna
no,
go back and
but
retroactively.
I'm
That
gonna
was the thing, though.
retroactively lower my score.
Retcon,
is-
retcon.
They were in complete, just the whole rubber mask. You can't even tell who they are. They never speak, and they were in hibernation the majority of the time.
I remember that then. Okay. All right.
All right, so that's what they could do with Patrick Stewart
Okay.
to just truly piss off the hardcore fans, where it's like, "Oh, Patrick Stewart appears," and then after the episode, did you see him?
He was right there the whole time.
He was the gelatinous glob over on
He was a hot, heavy rat. What? How did you miss
And
that?
then it cuts, it does like Dora the Explorer and just cuts around. Do you see a hot heavy behind the door?
There.
But that just tells me that they're going to mess with time.
That was kind of the thing that Fuller wanted from the beginning, is each season to be a different kind of thing.
But you know what? At the same time, do your own thing, bruh.
Could he be an ancestor? Because
That's what
remember,
I was thinking.
Picard said that his family has been, in Starfleet and in the military and explorers for generations.
I'd be cool with that.
So it would be one of those things where he's
His grandfather or something.
I
Well,
am my
he's a-
own grandfather, buddy. Many years ago, friend, I had sex with a woman, and I am my own grandfather. Dig that, man. Isn't that cool, buddy? I totally got up in it.
It was either that or Q is fucking with him.
Yeah, maybe.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'll show you the birth of the Federation." And then he's like flashing around, and we catch we're the B story of a TNG episode that never was.
I'd be down with that. Because we always used to complain that sometimes the B story that we never see on screen is always better.
Yeah, something's happening with the Romulans. What the hell?
You know what, though? That's really interesting. But we got to take this fucking cargo bay full of space boogers over to the medical facility to get it examined because these boogers, they might be kind of poisonous.
Which I think is kind of what's great about this episode of DS9, because you get both of those things in one.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to take Kira to go someplace and like, oh, I got to just take a ride on this freighter or whatever.
Yeah.
He's doing Enterprise duty.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Jenny, I felt the same way. I was like, oh God, this episode's gonna be a huge stinker. Like, this one's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a conference. Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I was like, no, they're either gonna get invaded by like some kind of energy beam or who knows? I mean, this
They're
is
going to start making out. You
this-
just never know.
no, that would never happen. No. She's never gonna make out with Gold Dukat. As much as Gold Dukat wants to make out with Kira Nerys, that will never, ever
It happened up here in my head canon.
It disgusts me on so many levels that he can ever get with her.
Because, like, and he's so, how do I put this mildly? He's so, like, rapey around her. Like, he's just very, like, overly sexual. Like, every word is just oozing of, like, weird sexual innuendo. Mm-hmm. And he's pushing, like, this sexual tension that she wants nothing to do with. Mm-hmm. Like, in his head, he's Bruce Willis on Moonlighting, but, like, she's just shutting it down at the drop. Like, nah, son, it ain't like that. Like, nah. You gross. I hate your face. You look like a snake.
Well, not only that, but he's a Nazi snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically like, what is it? If you watch Schindler's List back in the day, and the fat Nazi that sat on his balcony taking, rifle shots at Jews in the concentration camp, down below. That's him.
No, I don't.
Nazi.
Gul Dukat's much worse than that. I mean, he's the guy.
Oh, yeah, he's Goering.
He's running shit. Yeah.
He was in charge of the occupation.
Yeah, so he's a terrible human being or a terrible Cardassian.
Well, actually, he's a pretty good Cardassian,
I guess.
I mean, but
he can't be that great because he keeps getting busted and demoted. But this time, his demotion is strictly because he couldn't keep his dick in his pants, which is nice to see, I guess, that he gets kind of ostracized because the guy who can't keep their dick in their pants now is president of the United States of America. And he's going to be stacking the fucking Supreme Court, which just makes me want to vomit.
And may also be a Cardassian.
Hold on, though. I just, in all fairness, I think the same rules should apply to him that apply to Obama.
Yeah.
And this late in his administration, he should not be allowed to put a nominee up.
I agree.
It's too soon to him leaving the White House, and because how long does he have left? When's the midterm?
Yeah, they're not counting that. I saw. Yeah, that's like the midterm is like 186 days away or something.
Yeah, because you're going to have a completely different Congress in place after that.
I hope so.
He's going to get impeached. So it's like, why bother? Why put us through it all? Just wait till 2020.
Hopefully, that'd be awesome.
And some 20-year-old from Brooklyn who's a democratic socialist will win.
Well, I have been watching a lot of Law and Order, so I mean, I could volunteer if they want me to.
Dung dung.
There you go.
When's the dung dung sound happen? That's not a real thing. They put that. No, that happens in court. I hear it all the time. Like when it starts, like that's the official. Then I know I gotta zip up my robe and get my shit straight.
Exactly.
I just want you to try to explain that, Jenny, to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Mm-hmm. Sitting there next to her, and you just lean in, and she's like, "When does the dun dun start?"
Has anybody seen my hammer?
Who gets that? No, wait. Now, does just Roberts? Is he just the only one that, or can I get one?
Where's my hammer, man?
This is some sexist bullshit.
I hollowed this thing out.
I just noticed none of the women on this court have their own hammer. Fuck this. And it's like
bunch of cunts.
Y'all just like start a riot.
Yeah.
This would be Notorious RPG. I mean, this is.
I don't know. She might be down to start some shit with me.
I think she would.
Yeah.
And she's about your size, so.
Yeah, but I heard she nothing against Jenny. I don't really know if you can scrap in the streets, but I heard that. I mean, I saw a picture of her planking. She's like 90 years old, and she's still planking and all that. She's got to live forever now.
I heard she stabbed a communist. Back during the occupation.
It'd be awesome. But this is when we need her more than ever. So, but anywho,
not to get political, because I forgot to bring any cages for the kids. So let's get off the politics.
Don't lie, you got cages for them things.
No, we were trying to get more Trump viewers, so I figured we could.
Damn right, make space great again.
Massa,
bro.
Whoa, wait.
I've just left my comfort zone, taking the glasses off so I can't see this or be held responsible for anything that's happening.
Number one, those are not even the right letters.
Man, but that's what I'm saying, man. We're dumb.
Number two, you didn't use an accent, so it's not
exactly.
Okay.
So it's just like I'm out.
Make space great again.
It's too late. Too late.
Make America space again.
This country and my bedroom's not going to be safe.
Make
Until
America
somebody elects Hillary.
Make space America great. Something like that, man. Whatever, man. I'm a dumb fucking redneck. That's not even true. They're not even dumb rednecks. It just seems like white people in general, but that's neither here nor there. Let's just move on.
Time was a Cardassian person could just jump up and hook up with a Bajoran. And everybody thought it was fine, except for the Cardassian's mother, who disowned him and said, "Get out of my house."
Well, he had 6 kids, so I would hate to see his space alimony check. Like, that thing's got to be huge.
His space child support payment is the same as the gross national product of a small country in Siberia.
It's got to be gigantic, because I want to say before he had 6 children. That was the number he had.
6 or 7, I can't recall.
So it was a lot. So he was a good Catholic with a lot of kids.
Oh yeah.
Every
so
Kardashian sperm is sacred.
He's probably living on that ship that he's working at now, because I mean, he can't afford an apartment.
No, that's the real reason. It's not that she's not welcome on Cardassia. It's like, no, this is all we can afford, but Daddy doesn't want to, demean himself.
Yeah. What are you looking at, Ben?
You guys continue on. I'll be right back. I just have to put out a small fire.
Okay.
Like a real fire?
I could never tell if he's joking or not.
I don't know what's happening. I'll just edit all this out, because now I don't know if he's in danger, or I want to listen to see if I can hear what's happening. Is everything okay? Oh, he muted his microphone. Uh-oh.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Do you have a friend over, Benjamin?
No, it's just there was a thing happening over there.
What kind of thing happened? You're so mysterious.
Ooh.
What the hell is going on?
I don't know.
There was something over there that was very distracting that I had to make not be distracting. So now it's
okay.
Now it's over here, and I've got it under control.
All right.
Everything's fine.
All right.
How are you? We've had a reactor leak.
I'm very confused. All right. Okay. All right. So anyway, so he's basically living on this freighter like Captain Ron, and he's got his bastard child with him.
Yep.
And I guess he's got to take Kira Nerys to some outpost so she can share some intelligence with the Cardassians, which has to be a shit gig for her, because she hates those motherfuckers so much.
There's like 15 delegates from Bajor that she's going to be, I guess leading the conferencing as they share intelligence against the Klingons. And then Worf, of course, is like, hey, just, there's some data that we would rather you not share with the Cardassians. That
Heads up, don't tell them about any of this stuff.
Yeah. Like, don't tell them about the shields and the phasers and the weapons and the stuff.
It'd probably be best if you just don't go, because
Grandma's banana pudding recipe, really don't want that shared with the Cardassians.
Yeah,
not having.
Don't tell them anything ever.
Preacher season 3 has started. We really don't need you to let them know that. We would like it to go at least 3 more episodes so that they will miss it on the pay-per-view. And then they'll always miss that first episode and just be really cranky. So just,
You know what? You should just stay here, I think.
Well, go ahead and finish your shots, because you got 12 more to go. Just go ahead and finish getting the shots. And, because that last one is a very special one that Dr. Bashir there got for you.
He's your friend, I guess. So do that, whatever. And we're going to send Odo to the conference. Odo is going to go as you, though.
Yeah,
no one will
know the nose. He's worked on the nose. We think he's got it. What we figured out, we actually did like a scan of you and then made like a fiberglass mold. And then we figured out that's how he can actually improve how he looks like you. We just pour him into that. And then when he forms up, he looks just like you. The hair's a little off, but who
Why
knows?
does it sound disgusting? Like that just sounds awful. Him just turning into things is fine.
Yeah, well, it's okay because we spray the inside of it with Pam.
Oh, okay, so
And
it's thick.
slides right out.
Yeah, we noticed that we were getting some, how do you say, residue Odo around. So we kind of had to fix that.
The Pam helps. Actually, the residue, we thought pieces were breaking off, but actually, all this time we didn't think that he pooped. Might not be a full accurate thing. So, but we've the Pam cleared that right up. Everything slides right off. It's great.
I don't think he more leaks than poops.
It's kind of an ooze, kind of like an osmotic,
Kind of like a slug.
Yes.
Trail.
Like his entire epidural area is also where he excretes his waste.
Ooh, that's a good word. Excretes.
And, yeah, that's why if you've ever actually touched it, I know he's crushing on you, and he would never say that. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Whoops, we
That's
said
going
too
on.
much.
But
Spilled the beans.
If you touch him, he feels kind of moist, and
Real
I don't
moist.
know why?
It's real
actually,
weird.
You should probably just wash if you've touched anything that he's touched. And that's the second thing. He's been most things or on most things or on the space station. Just
There's a good chance he has salmonella.
yeah.
Just telling you.
A good chance he is salmonella. So.
When's the last time you washed your Odo? It's been a while, right? Yeah. Definitely got to wash that thing.
You can't just put him in the regular washer dryer unit that you have in your quarters. You've got to take him down to the promenade, to the changeling mat.
The space dry cleaners.
You know, you got to run him through the big one that you use for heavy quilts. And God, last time I watched him, he got a little off balance, and the washer was and it's. I did notice Dax leaning against the dryer, but
She's a perv, though. To be fair.
And tumble dry low, for God's sake.
Yeah, tumble dry low.
You don't want him to shrink. He's already
No.
5'10". He started out, he was 6'5". I mean, so we can't afford to shrink much more on
You
him.
don't want to shrink your Odo. That is true.
Use fabric softener. You would prefer a fluffy Odo.
Mm-hmm. You don't
Nice
want
fresh
static Odo.
No. There was do you remember, what was it, about 3 months ago when he was just stuck to the door there at Quarks and everybody who walked in got shocked? Just no fabric softener. It's your friend.
Fabric softener Odo. Yes, that's a great idea.
Anyway, that was a good episode.
That was. I mean, I'm gonna give
one we watched.
I'm gonna give that a 6.
I give it a 7.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite episodes of the season.
I'm going to agree. It's a 6.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll talk to you next week, guys. Thanks for listening.
Wait, we didn't finish talking about this episode.
Oh yeah.
Will and Grace in Space or whatever.
Yes. Will and Grace in Space. So I guess what happens is they get to this conference and they find the place has been blown to bits.
Yep.
Just destroyed, just wrecked to shit.
Yep.
And there's
Klingons have done fucked it up.
And there's a bird of prey just kind of lingering about. And the bird of prey kind of sees this lowly, terrible freighter and just doesn't care.
Just no shits are given.
Nope. Even after the lowly, bullshit, lame-ass freighter shoots at the Klingon vessel, just doesn't care.
Yeah, here's how fucked up it is. Okay, so they turn around, like after they scan the freighter, they turn around with their shields off, like literally just turn their backs to and do their own thing. But then to top it off, the freighter shoots them, right? Makes the boom. That's still like no boom. No shields didn't penetrate the hull.
Nothing.
Klingons turn around. It's like, oh, we're fucked. No, they fly past them, and not only do they fly past them, they fly past them like, hey, here's our most vulnerable spot. Let me just fly over.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm going to show you my soft underbelly that you can't do shit about.
Yeah, because your boy is disgraced. Gul Dukat's disgraced. He's on this gyp joint with these losers. He's got no weapons. His weapons don't work. He's trying to train them, and there's nothing really to train. There's no weapons. They got pea shooters everywhere. They're just kind of worthless.
Yep.
This is kind of the worst job in Cardassia.
Which is why he has it.
Yeah, because he sucks right now. Everybody hates him.
And for most of the episode, I felt like he was trying to like manufacture some sort of like emergency that he was going to help save the ship from something that he set up. Like,
oh yeah,
like he was starting all this and just so that he could try to like save the day and get back to power or something.
Oh, I think once the episode progresses, there's no doubt about that. Like he's trying to kind of get back in the goodwill of.
Yeah, but I think though it's not though that he set up the situation though.
Right.
He's going to take advantage of it, but normally this would be something I think, and what Jenny I think was on the same track with. He would manufacture a situation.
Like he went and paid off the Klingons and said, "Hey, come fly by and shoot at us, start a little fight, and let us kick your ass." But I saved the day.
Yeah, but I think we learned pretty quick that that's not the case because the Klingons. But initially that would be a very fair thought because I don't think he's trustworthy enough that you could let something like that pass.
I do like the fact though that Nerys is like, hey man, listen, this is what we can do. We can just make do with what we got. You guys have been living in the big house too long. You've been living it up, doing awesome stuff. We got to just go out and fight and just use what we got and blow some shit up. And Gul Dukat's like, what? This doesn't make any sense to my feeble brain. What are you talking about? And Kira lays it out.
This is why you lost. This is why the occupation failed and why the resistance was as successful as it was.
She kind of gives him like a guerrilla tactics 101.
She does a really good job with it. So much so that Gul Dukat's eyes are open and he's like, yeah, we could do all that stuff. And so they kind of jerry-rigged the ship.
I think there should have been like an A-team level montage of
Agreed.
Kira, and then you've got Damar, welding something together in the cargo bay, and it's missed opportunity.
No, I couldn't agree with you more on that, Ben. That we needed definitely like a take it to the limit kind of montage. The fact that we didn't get that, I don't want to say it lowers the score for the episode, but it totally does.
I'm not so much angry as I'm disappointed.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, they end up with a planetary size disruptor in the cargo bay. And they basically just had to dump all the cargo.
Which sounds kind of rad.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He was getting all antsy about dumping the cargo, but like 10 minutes earlier, he was ready to let the whole ship get blown up. Putting up a fuel fight. So it's like, dude, you were going to lose all this anyway, along with your life.
Yeah.
Well, if he's dead, he doesn't have to worry about like who's going to get pissed off that the cargo's gone.
It's true.
Much like Han Solo, the first sign of trouble, dump your cargo.
That's totally what he's going for. He's like, dude.
He's not going to half-ass it.
Yeah. You can't do that.
Made the DS9 run in 12 parsecs.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
Did you guys see Solo?
Yeah.
Yes.
How was it?
I loved it.
I thought it was great.
All right, I haven't seen it.
I'm a big Han Solo fan. I know there's people out there hating, but there's also a lot of I have a large ass that they can kiss. So pick your spot. Eat a dick. Either way.
It was basically a heist film, like it was almost a Western.
Yeah.
but in the Star Wars universe.
All right.
Yeah, he's a smuggler, and
Yeah.
so he had them smuggler blues, and
God damn, that's awesome.
it's
Politics of contraband.
and that was the thing. Smuggler blues, actually, as they were flying into Kessel, that starts playing, and then Sonny Crockett.
Whoa, don't say that, Ben, because I'll stop this podcast recording right now and run out and go watch this.
Hey, I suggest everybody who hasn't seen it go see it right now.
I got a feeling
pause the podcast, run see it, and then come back out to your car and thank me.
It's got to be pretty good because all the fanboy nerds are really upset about it. I was kind of upset about it, mainly for the fact that like I just felt I didn't need more Han Solo stuff.
I read the Han Solo books, AC Christmas. I showed last week.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
And I was ready for some Solo. He's my favorite character in the Star Wars universe.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty broad stroke you're giving everybody there, Ben, and I agree. But like, I was content with my history of Han Solo. Like, I didn't feel like I needed to see where he came up from because I was good.
Okay, then. But why does people gotta hate on it? If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But
yeah, but I wasn't hating on it. I'm just telling you.
Let me be the hypocrite of the week, and it's like, hey, as these actors get older, you recast them with younger actors and tell the stories that we've always wanted to hear.
I don't know.
They just kind of filled in a lot of the blanks. Like, he would walk around and bragging about himself and stuff, and so you get to see a little bit of like how he was just a regular guy and like how he kind of built up to being the legendary Han Solo.
See, that's the thing.
They could have done a little bit better about that, but
I think it would have been one thing they could have done better is have him not be so Han Solo from the very beginning.
Okay,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, because
he popped out fully. He's like Aphrodite from the sea foam, popped out fully formed as Han Solo.
But that was just kind of like his attitude. Like, he always had that cocky attitude from the beginning. And then, like, later on, when we see him in the original trilogy, like, eventually he can back it up with, like, he can actually do shit. Whereas in this movie, he's just bragging on himself and he acts like he's the shit. And, he does all right, obviously, because he's still around.
Yeah.
But,
well, if you're not a good smuggler, you're not going to be a smuggler long.
Yeah. So he's earned being a smuggler.
Yeah.
But so this is, I guess, about 10 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Okay.
So so 10 BY.
All right.
If anybody's counting that.
All right.
I think it was all worth it just for the Lando scenes, if nothing else.
Yeah. I heard he was good. I heard Woody Harrelson was good too.
Yeah. Yeah, he really was. Like, I kind of almost wanted to see, like, it kind of leads up to him going to work for Jabba at the end.
Oh, okay.
Like,
all right.
Spoilers, in case you didn't figure it out.
Who now? What's this Jabba you speak of? He works at a coffee shop?
It's a kid's show. Yo, Jabba.
Jabba the Hutt?
Exactly.
They make coffee?
So I think I would have liked to see some stuff with, like, him doing, some sort of like runs for him or something. But
that's
it was all. I mean,
there ain't gonna be no
I wouldn't mind. I don't think there's gonna be one. I wouldn't mind though.
Yeah, I wanted a solo trilogy.
The Solo trilogy. The Star Trek universe ain't got shit on Star Wars at this point. They're a bunch of ravenous maniacs.
Yeah, we want to rebuild it. We will raise the money and reshoot the entire. Look, even in my worst desperate throes of hatred toward Jar Jar Trek, I never once said, "Oh, I'll refilm that shit myself."
That's the dumbest thing in the whole wide world.
I will buy the rights to the $7 billion franchise and refilm it my goddamn self.
Yeah.
What was that thing? We, the fans of Star Wars.
I just
read it. That's the dumbest shit.
I was watching the episode, and as I turned off the episode, that was the next thing that when I logged into Facebook to get the link for tonight's show, and I didn't have a chance to read it yet, so don't spoil it for me. I want to see white fanboy privilege in its fullest expression. So
that's really annoying.
Now that's something I don't need to see.
Yeah.
Let me explain how white fanboy privilege works, Jenny. You might not be able to understand it. You speak.
What's that? I can't hear you. I have
Uh-huh.
tampons in my ears.
Do you know where tampons came from?
Your
My
ears?
vagina?
World War One.
Huh.
They were invented as bullet plugs,
Are you actually mansplaining tampons right now?
and they worked so well at plugging those small round holes when the Germans would shoot the Brits that when some of the British soldiers came home, their wives went, "Hey, what are these?" Oh, you know what?
I
know
can put
what
this in me snatch.
Right, I'm putting this in my vagina. So got no problem with the pussy juice leaking all over the place. And thus, modern science.
That's not true.
That is absolutely true.
I'm on their Wikipedia page right now. I'm on the tampon Wikipedia page as we speak, bro. Got nothing to do with World War II. World
War One. The battle against the Huns.
No. It said they were wearing them in the 15th century BCE. They used wool tampons.
That's different, though. I'm saying our modern.
Okay, now you're mansplaining tampons.
You're totally doing it.
That's what I'm here for. That's my role in life.
I'm going to stick this thing in your snatch. And look, man, seriously. You didn't invent these characters. Star Wars weirdo maniacs.
Yeah. I just got to think, do they have their own version of the kilt guy?
Yes, they do. They have tons of them, which is scary.
Is this a standard thing for them that they the fuck is this?
They have a whole Twitter online community of kilt guys. And for the longest time, I thought rabid Star Trek fans were worse, but now I gotta disagree.
Nope. Star Wars fans took the lead on this one.
Yeah, and
good for you guys.
And to be honest with you, man, there hasn't been a really good Star Wars movie. If you want to be a dick about it,
I liked me some Rogue One.
Rogue One was fantastic, but I'm talking about Star Wars rules. Empire rules, Jedi rules. The prequels are all kind of bad.
They're garbage. The new ones are not bad.
The third episode 3, I think, was the best of the prequels.
But to be fair, that's paint by numbers, though. You just had to fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
That's the easiest film to do because it's okay, well, what needs to happen? A, B, and C. Okay, great.
Right now, my ranking of Star Wars movies of all time goes Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One. And then I would have to think about as I went down.
Okay, because
I don't think Jedi was all that great.
I love Jedi.
It was good. It was definitely better than all the prequels combined. But I think I would put A New Hope above that just for the magic that it brought into my life.
The magic.
Not fucking midichlorians.
The magic in my mouth.
But you know what? I didn't burn tires when they came out with midichlorians. I said it was stupid, but I also didn't start a Kickstarter to refilm the bitch.
Well, here's some female splaining or whatever the fuck it's called. I'd heard that George Lucas actually planned for midichlorians to be part of the story the entire time. It's just that because he didn't write the screenplays and stuff originally, he didn't have as much creative control. It just never got put into the movie.
To take this back, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so when they finally put it into the prequels, when he had full control and he made those flaming pieces of garbage, oh, now I can do whatever I want. Here's those midichlorians. And everybody's like, where the fuck did this come from? It was there all along. You just,
just got ignored. Now, the two new movies, I enjoyed Last Jedi more than I liked Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Because Force Awakens was just new Star Wars. It was just New Hope. It was a New Hope. Yeah. Where The Last Jedi kind of takes the Star Wars kind of mythos and just kind of turns it on its head because no, it's not the scene in the elevator, I can't believe we're doing this on a Star Trek podcast. People are going to be furious, but we'll get back to it. On the elevator, the scene in the elevator with the two of them together was magical because it just threw everything out the window. Like the idea of like, who were your parents? Who were Rey's parents? It's got to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh my God, it's got to be. And like Snoke has got to be this dude. Oh, it's good. All that shit to me. I don't want to sound like an elitist, but it was just kind of dull because it had all been done before.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that like Rain Johnson was just like, yeah, fuck all that. The Force is everyone's. I thought that was really kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as
she comes from a nobody family. Her parents didn't, leave her behind for some great quest. They sold her as a slave for beer money.
Yeah.
I mean, that was gas and beer money. Let's get out of here. Keep the kid.
I love the idea of it just being like the Forces, because they always talked about the Forces everywhere. It controls everything, yada, yada, yada.
Every living thing, it flows through.
But it was very much specified to like this bloodline of people. So the fact that it was just kind of like, yeah, everybody has some kind of manipulation, and it's just some people are stronger than. I thought that was brilliant. Like I really enjoyed it.
As for the prequels and Lucas being in complete charge, I think, and this is where I bring it back to Star Trek. I'm currently reading the 50-year mission, Volume 1 for Star Trek. The unauthorized history of
that
Star
sounds
Trek.
awesome.
It's I've got the audiobook, and I'm one of our listeners and I were talking about who was I arguing with about
everybody
Babylon 5.
It was everybody.
That was Justin, wasn't it?
Justin Minor.
Yeah. So hey, Justin. Yeah, I was already reading. I'd gotten it, and I've just gotten to the parts where he was talking about online, where basically, Gene Roddenberry is a flaming garbage person. And, and this is hard for me as somebody who's worshiped at the altar of Roddenberry for most of my life. But as much as I think Roddenberry is a garbage human being who's just capitalizing on his father's creation, it's like he had no interest in this. He had no interest in the fans. But then suddenly it's like, oh, wait, there's money in this? I've always wanted to connect to my father through this show. Yeah, bitch, I'll connect to my father through a show if it's got the money behind it.
Now, is this the book right here?
Hold on, I got to put glasses back on now. Jesus.
Star Trek, the complete unauthorized history.
I don't know. No.
This isn't it?
That is not it.
Oh, 50-year mission. Is this one it right here?
That is it. The one with the big 50 on it.
All right, I love to read stuff like that. Did you?
Now, is that a multi-volume? Because mine is like the audiobook is volume 1 and volume 2.
Yeah, this is the first 25 years.
Yeah. I'm 3/4 of the way through. We've just got to the motion picture. And just the chaos and like the steady consensus that everybody besides Roddenberry is saying is he comes up with great stories, but he can't write for shit.
Okay.
Like he's a great story guy. There's a planet, there's monkeys, and they've actually not a different planet. And that great, Gene. Let somebody else write it now.
Yeah.
But he couldn't do it. And so like the section I'm in now, they hired Livingston to write the script.
Okay.
And Robert Wise is the director, right? And then you've got the Katzenberger or whatever is in over in Europe or whatever, and he's like executive production in the studio and everything. So Livingston was he runs his script past Robert Wise, the director, and he's like, yep, that's those, great. Then they're going to like put it in the envelope and courier it over to Europe for the studio guys to read, right? The studio guys call Livingston like, this is hot garbage. What the fuck are you getting? He's like, what are you talking about? And Robert Wise is like, no, the script is great. And they're like, what? No, what happens is Roddenberry's secretary intercepted the packet
and rewrote it.
Switched it out with Gene's script and sent it up. The writer like quit 3 times, and at one point they hired him for like $10,000 a week just to sit on his ass until they could get Gene under control. I mean, it's just this crazy stuff that I'm getting for the first time. And
do yourself a favor and read The Secret History of Marvel Comics. You'll like that one too.
does this go into one of my favorite things is Kirby and Stan Lee, where Stan would tell Kirby, hey, make me 3 panels with a Fantastic Four doing this, standing here, a car blowing up. And then he would be writing another episode. And then when Kirby would come back with the panels drawn with just places for the words, that's when Stan would actually come up with the dialogue.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like the stuff about like the Marvel 70s stuff where like they just eat LSD and like wander around Harlem like writing Doctor Strange stories is pretty fucking amazing.
I mean, if you've read Doctor Strange, though, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It's
How else would you write it?
Yeah. Do yourself a favor and pick that up. Pick up The Secret History of the Marvel Comics. It's really good. But anyway, you know what else is really good? Return to Grace as we return back to this episode. So Kira kind of teaches Gul Dukat the artistry, if you will, you understand, of guerrilla warfare.
Yeah.
And he gets a huge space boner off of this because he's all creeping like a presto because he's a weirdo.
Oh, yeah.
Then he starts bad-mouthing Kira's man to him. And the one thing I will say about Gul Dukat is I like the fact that he brings up what we brought up last week on the episode where Gul Dukat's like, so first it was this guy and now it's this guy. You really like a man in power, ain't no reason. It's like, damn, dude.
I'm going to get back to power someday.
Essentially, yes.
I think most women who've seen this episode can probably relate to this on-screen relationship where it's like she's trying to just be nice and be professional or maybe even be somewhat friendly because they have to get along.
She's doing her job.
Yeah. And you're just like, could you just fucking not?
Yeah, just please put your dick away. Like, please just stop.
My father was drug into the street and shot and killed in front of me. If you could, buy people under your command.
Okay, I can't relate to that part of it.
Yeah. So if you could just stop hitting on me, because I will never like the people who murdered millions of my fellow people.
He thinks he's so like suave and debonair and like she's gonna fall for this,
but Jordan chicks loved me. I mean, during the occupation, every woman I said come have sex with me did. I mean, I don't know why they were beaten beforehand, but they showed up in my quarters. So why, obviously I'm attractive, right?
Yeah, he's such a douche. Like it's so unlikable to watch, but at the same time too, it's almost, you can't turn away from it because the actor, Mark Alamano or whatever his name is, it just plays the part so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's slimy, but at the same time, like the actor portrays him with such natural charisma that, like, and it's actually really well written also. Yeah. So he's really like one of my favorite characters on the entire show, just because he's so complex for like a bad guy, or at least the way they portray him is kind of complex. Mm-hmm.
Because like you kind of have to find yourself watching Gul Dukat and like dialing back your own enthusiasm for the character, because again, he's totally being like creepy and shitty and terrible, but like it's so much fun to watch him do it because the actor portraying him is doing it with such like pizzazz and class, and he's so good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, completely.
No, it's just like with, Kai Wynn. I mean, and that actress is so good. I mean, this is like her typecast.
Yeah.
All the way from, the nurse in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest through, everything that I've ever seen her in. I just automatically hate the character. She does so well at creating such a piece of evil that you hate her. And unlike with Will Wheaton, where I actually hate the actor and the character, with her, she's one of the few actresses that I sent a letter and was just like, oh my God, you're, are so awesome. So great.
Yeah. I think Deep Space Nine does a really wonderful job casting the fringe characters on the show. Like Gul Dukat, like Garrick, like Quark, like Odo. Like they're granted the last two are main characters, but the actors and the people involved, they're just so great at what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, like they're so good at the gray area. And maybe it's just because we're starving for that as Star Trek fans, because for so long it's just been Federation. This is the behavior that the Federation portrays. And they're all kind of vanilla one beat characters, where you get these other guys that there are like real areas of gray. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no, I mean, just another reason why people should give DS9 a chance if they haven't been watching.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get people to check it out, like, because so many people just kind of skipped right over it.
Mm-hmm.
And people that like Star Trek, but just were like, I went to Voyager and it wasn't that good. I'm like, go watch DS9.
Yeah,
give it a try.
You're dumb. Get my bags.
The problem is, like, I have to try to tell people, like, it's not something where I say, like, you have to get past the first season or something like that, because for me personally, I hate when somebody tells me watch an entire season before something gets good, because now I have to waste 22 hours of my life watching garbage.
The first season fucking sucks, but by the time you get to like season 5, it's great. Like, nah, son, nah.
But DS9 is pretty much good from the beginning. Like, I will admit, the first episode, I was like, I don't know what Ben was talking about with this being like the best Star Trek and all this stuff. Like,
Jenny, what is time?
Jenny,
what is now, Jenny?
What is shut the fuck up?
I will say they have a couple hiccups along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In that first season, but I mean, they get their sea legs quick. Unlike, people talk about TNG where it's like, yeah, you got to get to the third season. It's like, bitch, I gotta watch 40 episodes of a show before it starts getting good.
Well, actually, it's closer to like toward the end, so probably more like 55 episodes.
I think you could probably like come up with like a essential TNG list and say, like, watch these like 30 episodes or something, and you're good. Like, you get a solid, season and a half of TNG or something. Because they don't really have as much of a continuous story arc. Like, if you miss a couple episodes here and there's so many standalones or whatever, you can do that. I don't think you can do that with DS9.
That's the one thing that I don't really care for with Enterprise, because I was watching Enterprise when it was on TV on Heroes and Icons, and I was watching some of the later seasons, and they have 22, 24 episode arcs, and it's like, if you miss 2 episodes, you're kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the episodes that I were watching, they weren't that wonderful. Like, I think Enterprise kind of started strong and then stumbled.
Well, I mean, if
Ben's in deep thought, Ben.
No, it's just like when Paramount killed a baby because of Enterprise. So that's that. Manny Kodo coming in when he did and trying to get Enterprise back on track was definitely too little, too late in 4th season. But if he had been running the show from the beginning, I think we would have had a different direction, because the first thing he did was get rid of the whole time war and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big distraction and the big crap fest for me during the first couple of seasons of Enterprise, was that it wasn't Star Trek. And I get it, like what we were saying about Solo, where my one complaint is that he was Han Solo fully formed from the beginning. They kind of didn't do that with Enterprise, so I guess I shouldn't complain about it. But there were some
apples and oranges.
Yeah. There was some continuity shit, but but if you pay attention, you see how we start the path to get to original series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then people who, like me, complained about Discovery, but then ended up loving Discovery. I think I need to go back and rewatch Enterprise with that same lens now.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll like it better the second time through.
Yeah. I mean, I loved a lot of the Pulaski stuff when we watched the second season.
Yeah, so did I. Like, I thought Pulaski was great.
And originally, that was something I did not like. So
She was
I like,
different.
yeah, because I agree, Jenny. She kind of threw a wrench in the works there because she wasn't very much like, well, yes, this is wonderful, and that guy's a fucking robot, and I'm cool with that. And this dude,
I think she was they tried to make her very McCoy-like, and she totally was able to pull that off.
Oh, yes.
You said that basically used a lot of scripts where it was supposed to be like the rebooted
Star Trek Phase 2.
US cast. Yeah. So, I mean, she basically had McCoy lines, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
I think she did a great job.
Yeah, and I like that she was such a different voice in that cast where, like, the TNG cast, like, they're all kind of like, I don't know, they're like, we always talk about them being kind of like diplomats and like they're always doing diplomatic missions and stuff, and that's kind of the vibe that you get from the characters on that show. Like, they're all just kind of like, they're on the cruise.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hey, here's a situation. Let's talk to them. Maybe we should talk about their feelings. And then Pulaski comes in and is like, have you tried shoving a grenade up somebody's ass? Maybe that.
Exactly. Here comes this sassy old broad to tell him what's what.
Try slapping him upside the head for an answer. See if that works.
Let's blow some shit up.
I'm going to go bang Riker's dad again. But somebody wake me up when it's over.
I'll see you dicks later. I'm going to go get my fuck on. Peace, I'm out.
Yeah.
Woo! Drop the hypo spray.
Yeah, buddy. So yeah.
So they get the freighter, they get it all wired for sound, and then they chase down the Klingon bird of prey. Of course, it's going to do its same thing where it's like, oh, it's the freighter again. But this time they're sending off a signal, so it's like, oh, it makes it look like if they scan us, we've got a full load of refined dilithium crystals. So then the Klingons are like, oh, hey, bitches, we're going to take your cargo.
Oh, hey, bitches.
Here's a tractor beam. Boop. And that's when they were like, okay, open up them doors and give them some tickling on that soft underbelly.
Let's blow that shit up.
And so they got a couple of good shots in, but then the Klingons surprisingly shot back. What?
Huh?
And then Kira pulls the Kirk trick from Star Trek 3, beams over and switches the crew's places.
Very sneaky of her. Very smart.
Very sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, I wish I could see that Klingon's face. And Dukat's like, yeah, well, he ain't got no face. Boo, 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 and blows him up. And
boo, 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 boo. That's exactly kind of what it sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, hey, I'm going to be doing so good. Get the president on the phone. President of all the Cardassian legged peoples and lizard necks. I'm going to talk to them all. Because I'm important again.
And he did, and he was fired up. He's like, dude, this is my way back in. Everything's going to work out. I'm so great. I got this ship. Kira finds a bunch of, like, intel for the Klingon battle plans and places they're going to attack, and this
is a major win for him.
He's high on the hog. He's like, baby, I'm back. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to take my office back. I'm going to be the man. I'm going to do all the stuff that I want to do. No.
Oops.
He's very bummed out because he realizes that the Cardassians at this point are just a broken, beaten bunch of losers.
Bunch of pussies.
Yep. They want a diplomatic, I guess, a situation or a solution to this. And so he's bummed out. He's like, look, man, we're a bunch of fucking sissy Marys now. We got to go blow some shit up, and I'm going to do it. So he gets all gorilla. He becomes like the Cardassian Che Guevara. And he's just,
Can we make T-shirts with a picture of Gul Dukat?
Yes.
Just a red shirt with a black print.
Do it, Jenny. Do it.
You did it before, Jenny. Do it again.
I think that's our merchandise for DS9.
I would love to see like a Che Guevara Gul Dukat shirt. That would be amazing.
Do the Che shirts have like the word Che under
them?
No,
it's just his face. It's just a picture.
Okay. Now, can you get Dukat with a beret?
I can Photoshop it on.
Is that gonna work?
I think if we do that and then the Bone shirt that we talked about doing for
Bone.
disco, Bone, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, I would love to see the Che Guevara gold.
Nailed it in one, Jenny.
That's what he's gonna. Oh, that's the life that he's gonna lead now. He's like, look, man, I'm gonna do all this stuff, and yeah. So he gives Kira the big speech, and Kira's like, nah, son, nah. And then he runs into Kira's. I guess he runs into Gul Dukat's bastard child, and she's all like, hey, man, check out the cool knife trick I can do with my vagina. And it's like, what? You're not supposed to put that in there, you dummy. You don't know shit about fighting.
That's not a pocket.
It's a flesh pocket for penises. You put a penis in there.
I like how she just kicks her ass. So she's like, look at this cool trick I can do. Oh, what? What's your cool trick? Getting your ass kicked?
Yeah, dying.
That is cool.
You have mastered the art of getting your ass kicked by a Bajoran.
Yeah.
Getting thrown to the ground.
Congratulations. But Kira really likes her. Whatever.
The same way I killed your mother when I found out she was a traitor.
Whoa. How do you pronounce her name?
Zial.
Zial.
Mm-hmm.
Kira really likes Zial, and like there's a real kinship here.
Yep.
And then so Kira, when they get back to DS9, Kira's like, nah, son, I'm not going with you, but give me your daughter.
And she makes a good case for it. It's like, she's not going to be welcome there. She's not going to be welcome on Bajor. So DS9 is the place for all misfits. We're the island of misfit toys.
Essentially the island of misfit Shrek. And Kira kind of tells her, like, look, man, she reminds me of me, and, like, I don't want another person to have to go through that.
Aw.
Which is kind and sweet. Mm-hmm. And then Gul Dukat agrees, and then he gets all creepy, rapey on her again. Like, I think this is the best boner I've ever had. Yeah. And that's the end of the episode.
It's amazing how he does something great. Like, okay, I'll let my daughter go. That's cool. Like, I thought he was going to fight for that, But so I was like, okay, maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. No, and then he creeps on Kira right after.
You've made me the happiest man in the world and make my life worth living. I'm so hard right now.
Touch my butt.
Like a roll of quarters in my pants. Would you like to feel them? Would you like to touch them?
It has the little lizard ridges down the side.
That's what I was going to say too, Ben. Great minds think alike, bro. And that's the episode.
Now, I've seen the fanfic pictures.
Oh, my God.
Oh, fanfic, you say?
Yes. There is the Gul Dukat erotica out there. The ladies do love him.
I am not surprised.
You're Googling it right now, aren't you, Jenny?
No.
I haven't typed in. I haven't hit enter yet. Like
hit enter.
Do it, Jenny. Do it.
Okay, I'm doing it. Going right to Google Images.
Click. I'm feeling lucky.
You know what? I'm disappointed. I am feeling lucky. I didn't see anything horrible in the images right away, so I'm gonna have to probably read something.
Yeah, who wants to read? No. That's stupid.
I'll share my Dropbox with you.
All right, now I'm just really creeped out. Cool. Wonderful.
He's like a ruffle. He has riches.
Just completely creeped out.
So yeah, that right away I just find some Gul Dukat Kira Nerys.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem awesome because she hates him, and I don't think I'd want to partake in that because I know how much she hates him.
Kira Nerys makes a decision to join Dukat in his fight against the Klingons.
That would never happen.
Her passion for fighting, her soldier's instincts drawing her to his path?
That would never happen.
Something else. Something to do with the enticing charms of a certain blue-eyed Cardassian.
All right, so check this out. All right, this is going to sound weird, okay? But I fully believe that O'Brien and Julian would totally fuck one another. I believe that more than Kira Nerys being romantically involved with Gul Dukat. That's not going to happen. There's no way that's going to happen.
See, I think it's...
In my fan fiction, in my brain, never in a million years.
If DS9 was in a different time, in a different place, it would be the Garrick Bashir hookup.
I could see that too, though. Like, I'm down with that too. Like, yeah, I think Bashir's having gay sex all over the station with all kinds of hot guys.
Bashir and O'Brien, as much as I would like that to be a power couple, I'm thinking it's more that they are like girlfriends.
No, they're having sex.
Not together. No,
they are.
But I just no, I think it's Garrick and Julian.
I'm gonna say I can kind of see the Dukat Kira Nerys thing, just because it's possible that she's the type of woman who wants to try to help him. She wants to try to fix him.
No, I can't see, Jenny. I'm insulted that you would even say that.
Wow.
We're gonna fight.
I'm just kidding. In my head canon, I don't see that happening. Like, there's no way in a million years.
Women do stupid shit sometimes.
No, I'm not. I was like, where did that come from?
Kira, why won't you love me?
I just can't see it happening. It just seems so. Kira Nerys fucking hates his guts.
Yeah. I mean, there's a level of when you watch your parents killed, it changes you in a magic.
Like, I'm not going to say that they're going to like hook up on this mission while they're going. Like, if they were actually doing the thing that they were supposed to do, they were not going to hook up in the course of this show. But like, if certain things happen, I could see it.
I mean, if the occupation didn't happen and he wasn't a space Nazi. Sure.
No,
maybe.
No, I'm saying even now, like if they get stranded or something like that through the wormhole, could be like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing,
I don't know. I think that would have happened already, and I think we even saw an episode where he made advances on her, and she's like, "Nah, son, I'm good." Remember that episode where they went back in time and like that's when she killed that dude? Remember where we saw like Kira on the station and Odo was back in time or something? Do you guys remember this? Am I completely making this up?
No, has that happened already?
I think it has, or maybe it didn't.
There wasn't a time travel. I thought that was a flashback.
Yeah.
There was the murder on the station.
Yeah.
Have we watched that episode yet? I don't recall seeing it this watch. I remember seeing it.
I remember watching it, but maybe I'm getting my advanced watch and my past watch confused. But remember, because that's where we talked about Kira's a murderer. That's where that whole joke comes from.
I think I actually ended up skipping that episode for whatever reason.
Was I out that week too? Because I remember the episode, I just don't remember it on.
That's where the joke comes from, that she murdered somebody.
All right.
I mean, we discussed that, but I just don't remember seeing the entire episode. So
I feel you, son.
I believe you with all of these things.
I know you do, and I'm just trying to figure it out for my own brain, if that makes sense.
Was it this necessary
evil? Yeah, Quark is shot. Odo reopens a 5-year-old murder case of. Whoa! Look at that. Gold Dukat takes Miami.
See, the Patreon.
I'm going to go back and watch this episode because this actually sounds fantastic.
It was a good episode.
Why are you showing me this stuff, Ben? I don't want to see any of this stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's for the Patreons. I have no interest in this stuff myself. I'm just trying to build our audience, and the Patreons will they want to see.
The episode is necessary evil. That's what it is. Yeah, because at the end, Kira comes to Odo in his office and asks how he knew. So yeah, Kira done killed that dude. So, yep, that's it.
Hey, did she straight up murder a guy in this episode?
Yeah, she just straight up killed his ass.
Like he just like electrocuted and vanished?
Yeah.
Okay, so can I just, after some scrolling because of Ginny's failure to find any good nudity for Dukat fan art on Tumblr.
I didn't try that hard.
Bona?
I'm a little disappointed right now because I have also been looking, and it's just like, really, this is kind of depressing. I expected better. I had to double check to make sure my safe search was off.
Well,
That's what I'm doing wrong.
Another night, I guess.
Another sad night.
Another sad night without Gold Dukat Wiener. What are we to do?
But there is some lovely. Yeah, there's your the Bashir Garrick fans are in full force though. So
yeah, I'm down with that. Like I said, I believe that more than I believe Gold Dukat. Like, I think that's a good poll question. Who's a more likely couple, Garrick and Julian, or Gold Dukat and Kira?
I mean, if you're going to phrase it that way, like, I can definitely see it like that. I'm just saying. That's fucking hot.
I've got the biggest boner right now.
Like, I can see him and Bashir before him and Kira, but I'm just saying that I think that it's possible.
All right.
It's possible.
I could never ship Nerys and Gold Dukat. It would never happen in my mind.
It would never happen in my mind.
No, I attached too early on in DS9's run the whole Nazi thing.
Yeah.
And maybe I bring too much garbage, baggage with me. But that whole oppressed and oppressor thing, regardless if it's Jews and Nazis, if it's whoever, throughout the ages, it's really hard to cross that line.
I feel you. No, man, I'm with you on that.
But now Garrick and Bashir, sure.
All right.
Julian and Miles,
all day.
I could see that. Yeah.
Get it, boy. So did we rate the episode yet? Did we do that?
No.
All right. So Jenny, we'll start with you. What is your rating for A Return to Grace?
I think I'm gonna give it an 8.
Whoa!
I really liked it. Because I mean, like I said, they're two of my favorite characters.
All right.
I like them individually. I like their interactions, and then you get Klingons, and they're coming in fucking shit up. So
all right.
It might have been higher if that we had that montage scene, but
if they took it to the limit.
Yeah, that's I'm holding back because of that.
I actually thought about taking a half a point off.
That's actually where I was bouncing between 7 and 7.5. I think I'm going to go ahead and take that half point off and 7.
All right, I'm going to say 7.
That montage would have blew it away.
I'm going to agree with Ben. I'm going to say 7. I really enjoyed this episode. Like, it was good, and I like where this is taking Gold Dukat's character, constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly doing new things. So I'm excited about Shay Dukat.
I kind of feel like I need to do a Kira also. Just, like maybe you choose your side. Like which one do you like better?
I'm cool with that.
So.
All right. Well, there you go, everybody. That is the episode. Thank you again for listening. We really appreciate all of your support throughout the years, the 30 years we've been doing this podcast, it feels like.
This is actually about our 7-year anniversary, isn't it? Because it was late June.
Yeah, next week's episode will be our anniversary episode. If you want to, we could record it together in person, but
that would be amazing.
We could do it. We could do an anniversary episode together.
I'll bring the Earl Grey tea.
If we can get Dennis over to the South Side twice in a week.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be tough.
Oh wait, though. What is that Wednesday?
Is that 4th of July?
It was Wednesday, 4th of July. Well, we could.
I think it is. We can watch fireworks from my balcony if we wanted to, but
my kids. I'm gonna have to do stuff with my kids and my family.
That's what I was thinking.
But we could always. I mean, hey man, if we get tired of playing Star Trek, we could always just record.
Yeah, if you guys want to come over early enough, I
Yeah.
will have hors d'oeuvres and video cameras.
I told Stephanie, I was like, man, I'm really excited. She said, when are you playing? I said, Saturday. She's like, that's your first day there. That's what you're going to do in Virginia Beach as soon as you get there. I was like, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So, I mean, I guess you know, guys, Jenny definitely knows this, but my the number one twin, had basically heard us talk about RPGs and then went on YouTube and watched all of the RPG discussion videos.
You were saying that.
And so now, so this Saturday, we're going to be playing Star Trek with, the Dork Trek crew. The following Saturday, I have to start a campaign with D&D with the boys because they want to start playing D&D.
What edition are you playing?
We're going with 4th edition.
Okay.
Because I was able to borrow those books from Commander Zell.
All right.
So free is always better.
Yes.
And then I found somebody had data dumped like a huge bunch of the campaigns and stuff.
That's awesome.
Out. So I'm looking to do something simple.
Yeah.
Because this is their first time out, and this will be my first time. I tried to explain, like, look, I haven't really done Dungeons and Dragons since the era of Stranger Things. Those kids playing are like my age in that year. That totally correlates with my childhood, except for the whole, girl with superpowers, because I never talked to a girl until I was at least 26. So, other than that, though, spot on. But hey, man, I think it would be cool. Like, that'll be fun. We're playing with the kids here. And they're digging it a little bit. I think my daughter thinks it's boring sometimes, but when we play, I think she gets into it. It's hard to get her to play, but once we're playing, she digs it. That's the youngest is doing the I'm too cool for this thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he like spoke up a few times whenever we were talking about it. And he's like, well, you could always, and so he had input that he, I'm not playing, but if I were going to play,
this is what I would do.
I would have hid my gloves better.
That's funny. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. All right. Well, that's the episode. Maybe we'll try to figure something out again for our anniversary. That'll be really awesome.
Nice.
So there you go, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.